A person's greatness is defined by the quality of their thoughts. This timeless truth has been proven time and again through the lives of extraordinary individuals like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos. Napoleon Hill once wrote in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich, "What you think about, you become." But if that's true, why do so many people still struggle to find success? Is it because they don't think about their future, or because they fail to recognize their own potential? Today's story reveals the answers to these questions and teaches a powerful lesson along the way. Stay until the end. It'll be worth your time. In a crowded railway station, there once lived a beggar. Each day, he survived by asking passengers for spare coins as they waited for their trains. One morning, as he went about his usual routine, he noticed a well-dressed businessman stepping onto the platform. The man's expensive suit and confident walk immediately caught the beggar's attention. He thought, "This man must be very rich. If I ask him for money, he'll surely give me a good amount." Encouraged by this thought, he approached the businessman and held out his hand. But instead of giving him money, the man paused and asked calmly, "Do you always take from others? Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was taken aback. No one had ever asked him such a thing. Confused, he replied, "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I live by asking others for help. I have nothing to give." The businessman smiled slightly and said, "If you truly believe you have nothing to give, then you also have no right to ask. I'm a businessman. I believe in exchange. If you offer me something, I can give something in return. But if you have nothing to give, then I can't give you anything either." Saying this, the man boarded his train and left. The beggar stood there, stunned, those words echoing in his mind. "I've begged for so long, but no one has ever told me this before." He wasn't rude, but he was right. If I can't offer anything in return, why should anyone give me something? That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the businessman's words. What could I possibly give? I have nothing. But then, that one line kept repeating in his head. If you want to receive, you must first give. 2 days passed. He didn't ask anyone for money. His mind was too occupied with thought. On the 3rd day, as he sat near the station, he noticed a small patch of wildflowers growing beside the railway tracks. Their colors were bright and beautiful. Suddenly, an idea struck him. What if, instead of just taking, I offer something in return? What if I give people a flower every time they give me money? Motivated by this new thought, he gently picked a handful of flowers and returned to his usual spot. That day, whenever someone handed him a coin, he smiled and offered them a flower. To his surprise, people accepted the flowers happily. Some smiled, some thanked him. And for the first time, the beggar felt like he was giving, not just taking. Over the next few days, something remarkable happened. More people began to approach him and give him money. He soon noticed a pattern. When he had flowers, people gave more generously. When he ran out, the donations decreased. So it's true, he thought. People like to receive something in return. One afternoon, as he handed out flowers to passengers, he noticed a familiar face inside a train carriage. The same businessman. Excited, he ran up and said, "Sir, today I have something to give you. If you give me money, I'll give you flowers in return." The businessman smiled, handed him some money, and took a few flowers. "Now you've understood the value of exchange," he said. "Today, you're no longer a beggar. You're a businessman." As the train moved away, the beggar stood still, thinking deeply. Am I really a businessman now? He wondered. Then realization dawned. Yes, I am. People aren't giving me money out of pity anymore. They're paying for the flowers I offer. This means I'm trading. I'm doing business. Excited by this thought, he made a bold decision. That very day, he left the railway station and never returned as a beggar again. 6 months later, at the same station, two well-dressed men happened to meet. One looked at the other curiously and said, "You seem familiar. Have we met before?" The other man smiled and replied, "Yes, we've met twice before. Right here, on this platform." The first man frowned, trying to recall, and then his eyes widened in surprise. "Wait, you're the beggar, the one I refused to give money to, and later bought flowers from." The man laughed. "Yes, that was me. But today I'm no longer a beggar. I run a flower business now, and I'm traveling to expand it." The businessman was amazed. "That's incredible. What changed?" The flower seller smiled and said, "You did. You taught me one of life's greatest truths. We only receive when we give." That day, I realized I was never really a beggar. I was a businessman all along. I just needed to see myself that way. The two men shook hands once more, now as equals, and boarded their trains, heading toward their respective destinations. Life is shaped by the way we see ourselves. If you believe you're small, you'll stay small. But if you recognize your inner potential, you can rise to greatness, change your thoughts, and your future changes too. If you like this story, give it a thumbs up, share it to inspire others, and tell us what you learned in the comments. See you in the next story. Stay inspired and believe in yourself.